Alright, so this is my about 180th time trying to make this video. Technically third time today, but I've been trying to make this video for a long time and I just can't wait any longer. My life. So I wanted to make a YouTube video about my life, like an autobiography, only shorter and maybe in segments. But in a nutshell, I've dealt with a lot of traumatic loss, a lot of addiction problems, losses, I should say. In the past 5 years have been drastic for me. From losing my mom in 2015, my kids in 2016, and then my dad in 2018. This type of stuff is hard for me to talk about, but this whole coronavirus shit going on, and like just a lot of things with me health-wise, I haven't been doing too good, so I need to get things out sooner than later. And I am currently enrolled in Kodak, but the over-the-phone counseling is not working for me. It's just not. By the way, I don't know how to... Oh, you know what? When I upload this, I think I know how to turn on the comments. But I cannot turn on the comments on my videos before this. Hopefully I can turn on these comments, but YouTube is like blocking comments on a lot of videos if you don't upload it as a certain video or something, whatever. But planning on fixing that. My life has just been really crazy. A little background history. I'm Italian, Portuguese, Hungarian. I come from the Kappa family. Can I zoom in? Huh? Kappa family from Capelli, Italy. My father's side was the Amarals from the Azores. And my Hungarian side, I don't really know much about, but that's where I get all this stuff from, you know. My mother used to call me a gypsy witch. I'm a gypsy and a witch. I have real bloodline, whatever. I don't take it all too seriously. I just believe, I believe in, what is it, stoicism? I don't freaking know. You just go with the flow, you know. But for the past couple years, I've been writing quotes and stuff, like philosophy things. My stepfather, who raised me from the age of 8, Kevin Robbins. Kudos to him. Shout out to him and the Robbins family. He was an amazing person. He was one of, he's still with me every day. He was one of the first people to get diagnosed with ADHD. He hitchhiked, I want to say in the 70s or the early 80s, from Maine down to the Florida Keys, and has a 40-something page record, mostly armed robberies. So yeah, I learned a lot from my dad, and my mom being a domesticated Italian housewife, gypsy, that's how I was raised, basically, with the heart of a hippie. Like I say, I have the, what is it? Fuck. Okay, so this is where ADHD comes in. I forget, okay? Don't knock me, alright? Because y'all forget too. I forgot what I was even saying. Anyway. Oh, yeah. It's like I'm a child at heart, but an old soul. See, it took me a minute, but I got it. A child at heart, but I'm an old soul. Absolutely, I'm definitely old school. When it comes to everything, really. I basically, well, yeah, I basically had boomers for my best friends, so yeah, about that. My mom and dad were basically my best friends besides my kids and my kids' fathers. Besides my two friends growing up, my two friends that were girls, I never really had friends that were girls. I don't know, my mom didn't really like girls, gossip, all that stuff. Growing up, just give y'all a little overview of my life. I was really harsh to my mom. We fought a lot. We were best friends. I'm an only child, by the way. Should have put that in the beginning, but anyway. I'm an only child. I was spoiled. I grew up very privileged and in a decent household, pretty much. When I turned 13, my mother smoked my first joint with me. I think I was about 14 when my mom gave me my first painkiller and shot because I used to get really bad periods. Sorry if I'm shaky now. Yeah, so I say 13. I basically started everything, like smoking, drinking, popping pills. My mom supported my habit for years, unfortunately. I grew up in a family full of addicts. My mom was an alcoholic and a pill popper. My uncle's an alcoholic. Cousin. Sorry about that. I had to go check out my food. So where was I? Alright, 13, 14, yep. And then, I fell in love at 13. A lot of things happened at 13. My papa died, which made my family fall apart because he was like the glue, obviously. He came straight from Capelli, Italy, so he was very old school. Missed a lot of holidays at that house in Providence. So yeah, like 16. Yeah, I was 16. I went to Bradley for cutting my mom's thumb off. Got diagnosed with bipolar 2, severe depression, anxiety. Yeah, was on a lot of benzos. Very suicidal. God. I wanted to be a botanist. I went to one of the best schools back when I went to school, which was the Met when it first started. It was really awesome. I wanted to travel the world, basically the Amazon, and discover new plants for medicinal uses. Obviously, weed got me into that, and watching How High every single day for like 3 years straight. There it is. I'll check on my feet again. What was I saying? Oh, cut my mom's thumb off. Oh my god. Yeah. So I did that. I was on a lot of benzos, like I said. And, yeah, that wasn't working out too well for me. Oh, so I was going to the Met School. And, wanted to study botany. And then I was passing 9th grade and found out I was pregnant by somebody 7 years older than me. I was 17 at the time. Thought it would work out because he had a steady job that he was working at for 7 years and making good money. Tent company, it's really good, right? Until 2 months into my pregnancy, I find out he has a drug problem. Yeah, so that didn't work out too good. The next 6 years of my life was the most chaotic, unpredictable 6 years you could ever imagine. Once I had my kid, my mom took over. She, like, the night I brought my daughter home, that morning when she woke up crying, like, my daughter slept, thank God, through the whole night, the first night she was home. And my mom came in that morning, took her, and that was that. I was basically enabled to go off and do whatever the fuck I wanted to again. That's how I see it. Then I'm 19. I get into a fight with my mom. And that was pretty bad. I think somebody put a restraining order. I didn't want to take it off. I was being stubborn. I was being stupid. And come to find out, somebody, I believe it was the state, called DCYF or whatever, and I got involved, and because I was homeless, they gave my mom guardianship of my daughter. So that enabled me even more. I was messing with my childhood crush that I met again when my daughter was 1. Got pregnant, didn't know who the kid's father was. I believe it was my first kid's father's, but I'm not sure. Got an abortion October 4th, 2012. No, 2011. 2012. I get pregnant again. But I know who the daddy is. So I stay with my childhood crush. We have our first son. Now, he was involved in drugs. Big time drug dealer. And we got caught up in a raid. He does time, obviously I don't. It's my first charge ever. I do my mandatory 2 weeks because it's a felony. First charge. Well, I can't say first charge because I don't think it was my first charge, but it was definitely my first felony. First time going to jail, all that good stuff. And so my kid's father goes to jail, and he obviously does time and misses his son's birth. I had to go through the process of bringing his, I would say 3 months at the time, his 3-month-old child to see him at the Federal Wyatt Building. Yes, the feds. Through glass. Yeah, I got the pleasure of doing that. After that, Jesus, I can't even begin to explain, honestly. Like, so many things. And my life is just playing like a movie out in front of in my eyes. Like, man, after that, it was just, I feel like he gave up. Like, before he got locked up, like, he was working and shit. He stopped hustling. We were doing good. And then we got locked up, and he missed all that shit. Came out, like, when his son was, like, 6-7 months. That shit was hard. That was rough. So, I think he kind of gave up after that, but so yeah, then there was a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. My mom wasn't doing too good. So my son was born in January 2013. My mom wasn't doing too good. I was involved with DCYF. And then everything came to a halt like September 2014 is when I closed my case. My mom was in the hospital for more than 30 days, so I got my kids back or whatever. Closed my case, did everything I was supposed to do. And my mom wasn't doing too good. They told her if she kept drinking, she was gonna die. She slowed down up until me and my dad got into a fight. And then he got arrested, got out. Me and her got into a fight Christmas Eve. The cops came, searched the house for some reason, and found my dad there. We had no contact. Long story short, while my dad was in jail, my mom blamed me the whole time. Drank a gallon a day with her friend. Christmas was horrible. My dad gets out on my son's birthday, 2015. Like a week later, maybe, my mom goes in the hospital. A couple weeks later, they sent her to Boston for some reason. Before this, I would never really go see my mom at the hospital. It's just not a sight I want to see, but she said that I had to, because they were shipping her to Boston. So I went to visit her for the first time, really, at Newport Hospital, and it was horrible. Her skin was highlighter yellow, jaundice or whatever they call it. She was backed up really bad. When they sent her to Boston, she was there for a couple days, and me and my second kid's father went to go visit her. She was going. They gave her a couple weeks to live. She lived like a week longer than they said she would, but she stuck it out till she got home. One night, we got into an argument. She fell, went to the hospital. They gave her comfort measures. She died. Next morning, I was going to go with my aunt and my kids to go see her. So I heard that night she went to the hospital, and that morning I wake up to a phone call saying that she passed overnight. Probably the hardest thing that I had to ever deal with, having a 4.5-year-old who was attached to her hip, and a 3-year-old to tell this to. My kids dealt with loss at such a young age. Growing up, I never really cried at funerals, but when my papa died, I cried. I didn't know my grandmother. She passed just like my mom did. When my mom was, I think, 25 or 26, I was 23. That year was really hard. Really hard. But I made it because 3 months after my mom died, I got pregnant again with my daughter, Jackie, who I named after her. When I had my daughter, she was opiate dependent, and the doctors told me that I had to put her on morphine to wean her. Again, one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. But I asked them, what's the shortest time I'm going to be here? And they said, the shortest time, 10 days. I said, that's how long we'll be here. So 3 days in, we stayed 10 days, we're out of there. The day of my mom's 1-year death anniversary. It's funny how things work out in my life, right? It gets harder from here. I had my baby for 10 months. I only got to enjoy her for 10 months. But because of how emotionally unstable I am, I lost my children. October 2016. I'll never forget the call that I made to my dad from the ACI the day after I got arrested, at exactly the time they were taking my kids. I couldn't say bye. Nothing. I did time on and off for a year after that. I got out March 2018. I was doing really good with my dad. And then we went to go get high on my birthday. We went our separate ways Friday. My birthday was Sunday. I didn't hear from him at all weekend, so I was really worried. I didn't find out until 2 days after my birthday that he OD'd. He OD'd at his friend's house. And then I'm gonna end it here because this is enough for me. I gotta go eat some. Obviously, I'm gonna get more into detail each video, whatever. But I'm gonna just end it by saying, after I lost my dad, I started waking up. I gained all his knowledge. His mom was a psychologist, PhD. She had a doctorate in psychology. She studied transcendence of self, which is really cool. I was reading some of that. And that's when I started to write. And that's why I started to come up with my own quotes. My dad could write. Thank y'all for listening just to this tiny bit that I could get out. Nikki F. Baby, aka Crazy.